A little more find the intercepts work. So, you probably know the drill by now. When we want to find y-intercepts, we set x to 0. And if you want to find x-intercepts, you set y to 0. So, for the y-intercept, or intercepts, if we put in x equals 0 here, we get y equals 4 times 0 squared minus 0 over 3 times 0 minus 7. Okay, so when x is 0, y is 0 also, which means we get an intercept at the origin. That counts as our y-intercept. It also counts as one of our x-intercepts. So when we do our x-intercept solution, we can expect this number to pop out again. To do the x-intercepts, we say that y equals 0, which means we do 4x squared minus x over 3x minus 7 equals 0. Now, the very first thing you can do with this is multiply both sides by its common denominator. And when you do, if you times both sides by 3x minus 7, on the left, what remains is just 4x squared minus x. And on the right side, you get 0 times 3x minus 7, which is just 0. In other words, the denominator vanishes. All we care about in these problems is solving for when the numerator equals 0. Factor an x out of that, and you get x times 4x minus 1 equals 0. And that leaves either x is 0, which we knew was coming. We saw that already. Or 4x minus 1 is 0, which means take the 1 to the right, divide by 4, and you get x equals 1/4 for the other x-intercept. Now, how about this other thing? This is quadratic. Its y-intercept is going to be pretty easy. We do 2 times 0 squared minus 3 times 0 minus 7, and we come out with minus 7, because all the terms that contain x just vanish. And for the x-intercepts, if any, we get 2x squared minus 3x minus 7 equals 0. Will that factor? It'll factor if there are two numbers that add up to -3 and multiply to -14, and I don't think that's happening. The ways to make minus 14 would be 1 and 14, which won't add up to -3, or 2 and 7, and they won't either. So, okay, if it won't factor, we will quadratic formula it. Quadratic formula says our solutions are minus b plus or minus root b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. And when we clean that up, let's see, these negatives cancel. Let's do that. 4 times 2 is 8, times 7 is 56, plus 9 is 65 for the radicand. So our x-intercepts, neither of them cleans up worth a darn. The two numbers are 3 plus root 65 over 4 and 3 minus root 65 over 4.